Jackson digs it out. Hunzinger with a setup to Rivers. Rivers delivers. Pass to the basket. Gets the friendly roll to go right there. Ava Cook now with 4 points to go here. Drives, finds Camden Bell. Right wing three is up. And good. Yes. Camden Bell making it rain, baby. Carroll for battling in this bat so far. The 1-2 pitch. Gets her swinging for strike three. A job well done by Zoe Koger getting the strikeout for out. 3-1. And that's going to be a deep fly ball in the left center field. And gone! Quentin James with a big fly of his own, a 2-run shot. Good afternoon, volleyball fans, and welcome live here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network here on YouTube.com and the IHSAA Champions Network here this afternoon from beautiful Raider Gymnasium in Selma, Indiana, here with today's second game of the semifinal round of the 2025 Delaware County Volleyball Tournament. Here this afternoon, we welcome in the 10-9 Delta Eagles as they take on the 20-5 Wapahani Raiders. Again, as always, I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy, back with another action-packed day of Indiana High School girls volleyball as we'll get right into things here with the Raiders Live pregame show presented by Dr. Kara J. Wolf, DDSPC, a proud sponsor of us here on the WHS Network. Wapahani with a sweep there on Thursday night. There against the Cowan Blackhawks, was able to take them down in straight set fashion, in which that put them in this position to take on Delta. Now, the Eagles, on the flip side, they received the first round bye, so they did not have to play anybody yet to get to this point. But this should be a great battle. Those of you that tuned in to the very first game of the season, Wapahani and Delta went toe-to-toe right here from Raider Gymnasium. In which Delta was able to win that one in 5 sets, in which really it was a game that, it was very close, very tight all the way through. Wapahani, in all honesty, could have won it in 3, but shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't. And, Delta kind of hung right in there and was able to escape there with a victory. Played very well. I mean, they have numerous girls that the Eagles can go to, especially offensively, that provide such a big-time impact. And one of those, obviously, is number 10, Kyra Murray, here for the Eagles. Obviously, they have a nice assortment offensively that they can go to. But Murray, definitely the big, heavy hitter that the Eagles like to go to that can make a play anywhere. It doesn't really make a difference offensively, defensively. She's out there to get the job done and do whatever she can to help her team win. And she's definitely a huge factor, not only in today's game, but every game. So definitely a key player to watch for here this afternoon for Delta. Here for Wapahani, I say it time and time and again, depth, I think, is extremely important, not only in the game of volleyball, but in any sport. When you have good depth, and you have multiple girls in this, in this situation anyway, that you can rely on from an offensive standpoint, it's extremely important because, we spread the ball around so well, and, there's no letdown. If someone might have an offensive bad night or whatever the case might be, you still have about 5-6 other girls you can go to. So it doesn't necessarily affect the team too much. But defensively, we've been fairly solid. We've served the ball well. That's going to be another very important key, just like it is in every ball game. Same way here this afternoon as well. We're going to have to serve the ball well. We're going to have to pass the ball well. And obviously, we're going to have to hit the ball well. If we are able to, have success in all phases of the game, I think that Wapahani's got a good chance in this one, but it's going to be definitely, without a doubt, a tough ball game here for both sides. We're happy to be able to bring this game to all you fine folks out there in the Raider country or wherever you're watching us from. So stay tuned in right here, folks. It's been a Raiders Live pregame show presented by Dr. Kara J. Wolf, DDSPC. We'll be back here with today's rosters And today's first serve here of the semifinal round of the 2025 Delaware County Volleyball Tournament here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. This afternoon, the Delta Eagles. Number 1, Kate Manor. Number 2, Sienna Richards. Number 3, Kinley Davis. Number 4, Bailey Rich. Number 5, Sophie Overholtz. Number 6, Macy Ramsey. Number 7, Ainsley Terry. Number 8, Tamara Wilson. Number 10, Kyra Murray. Number 11, Madeline Polito. And number 15, Gracie Bauer. The Eagles are coached by Kylie Johnson. And now for the roster for the home team, the Wapahani Raiders. Number 1, Sam Dudley. Number 2, Cammie Rivers. Number 3, Maren Hopkins. Number 4, Kaylee Clements. Number 5, Callie Parker. Number 6, Caroline Hunsinger. Number 7, Nola Baker. Number 8, Nora Williams. Number 10, Addie Barnes. Number 11, Olivia Walters. Number 13, Journey Maines. And number 15, Maddie Grove. The Raiders are coached by Valerie Wells. Again, today's officials, our up referee this afternoon, Sean Sherby. Down referee, Mr. Bobby Board, and our line judges, Mary Dobb and Lynn Loving.
All right, folks, welcome back here on the WHS Network. Hopefully all of you are able to clearly hear the player introductions here this afternoon. So again, 10-9, Delta coming in here, 20-5 for Wapahani. As I mentioned there in our Dr. Kara J. Wolf DDSPC Raiders Live pregame show, these two teams faced off in the home and season opener, in which Delta won that one in a 5-set thriller. Now, again, that's not necessarily any kind of indication on what today's game will be like, but you can still expect a hard-fought, very close ball game. I don't think that, this isn't going to be a game in which, it's going to be like a 25-10, 25-11 kind of game. It's nothing like that. This is going to be very close all the way through, and so should be a great one. Now, I will mention, and this was just, I just found this out probably here within the last minute or two. At least as of right now, there will be no Caroline Hunsinger. She's got a little bit of a illness here this morning or this afternoon, and so at least as of right now, she will not be playing. Now, that's not necessarily saying that she won't play any other time throughout the ball game, or potentially later tonight if Wapahani was to reach that point. But at least as of right now, she is not playing. So our setter will be Nola Baker. And Wapahani's going to get off to a good start right here. A net violation called on Delta. And so Wapahani will take the first point here of the afternoon. Again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in here today. Again, we got this game underway right at 12:30 p.m. here on this Saturday, October the 4th of 2025. Again, I'm play-by-play broadcaster Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me, cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Murray there from the right side. Parker's right there. Baker on to Dudley. Tries to find that back right corner. Rich gets there in time. Now on to number 7, Paisley Terry. Baker on the river. Soft touch. Right there was number 1, Manor. Back on the attack again. That was Parker on the dig. Dudley will get it over. Murray on the attack in. Baker's right there. Rivers gets it over. Dug out by Sienna Richards. And that will be in there for the kill for the Eagles to even it up here at 1 apiece. So we will have a number 8, Amira Wilson, now in the ballgame for Delta. Number 10, Kyra Murray back to serve. Did want to make mention here this afternoon, did want to send a couple of shout-outs to Barbara Wilmoth as well as Bob Taylor and many others that, again, always tune in. We appreciate you and thank you for being supportive of us and the student athletes out here on the floor this afternoon. So 2-1. Going to kill there for Paisley Terry. Parker. Baker on to Rivers. Dug out by Murray. Set up there to Wilson and was met there at the net by Olivia Walters to tie it at 2. So the Raiders will have Cammie Rivers back to serve. Again, I will give you all a heads up here. Depending upon how long this game goes today, we may or may not finish the broadcast of this ball game. Again, the reason I say that is Wapahani will get that one to fall in. Marin Hopkins on the attack. They end up calling, I'm not sure if that was a net violation on Delta or if that was just a ball that just fell in that they called. But nonetheless, there's a specific time that I personally have to leave by because it is fall break and I am heading out of town. So not quite sure, like I said, depending upon how far this game goes. If this is a 4 or 5 setter, not sure if we'll get to broadcast the entire game, and just wanted to make sure and give you guys a heads up about that. Don't want to upset anybody, but got to do what we got to do. And we're going to have a net violation here on Wapahani. Point goes right back there to Delta. We'll see number 3, Kenley Davis, now in for the Eagles. So she'll be back to serve. Received there by Rivers. On there to Walters. Dug out by Manor. Good up right there. Set on to Terry. And Hopkins with the left arm right there sends that one backwards and out of play. I got to tell you what, it still astonishes me, even after all these years, how you get a ball, literally just absolutely stung right at you. And to be able to have such a quick reaction time for any of these girls is just, it just blows my mind because, you have very little time to really do anything. So the point there for Wapahani. Got a couple of sets right here by Baker. I'm sure she's not exactly pleased with, but, she's now filling a role that she wasn't, she hasn't been asked to fill all year. And, no doubt that's tough. But, she expects great things from herself, so do her teammates and coaches. And so, she's got to go out here and give it her very best. And try to do everything she can, perform at a very high level, and help her team any way she can. Murray will track that one down. They will get that one over there by Bailey Rich. Baker on the Grove. Parker now on the Dudley, riding that line as the ball off the fingertips of Kinley Davis and down in play, 7-4 Raiders. Nice serve again there from Callie Parker. Left side attack from Rich, and that is just out of bounds, not by much. Again, Rich, I believe, coming into the ball game there for Delta, like right around 95 to 100 kills, I believe, coming into the ball game here today. So she can be a nice asset here offensively and defensively as well here for Delta. But again, Murray kind of leads the way there with things in that kill category. They have, many options here. Again, Paisley Terry, Mira Wilson. Wilson's only a freshman, and she can make a huge impact. So, pretty good group right here for the Eagles. Grove staying right there with it. Hopkins with the denial, but then after the block, her hand went right into the net. Makes this 8-6. And that one out of bounds off the serve there, Paisley Terry. So the point goes back in favor here of Wapahani. It'll be Tatum Dudley back to serve. And again, ideally, you'd love to rattle off 5, 6, 7, 8 points right here. Establish some momentum, really put Delta in a bind. But again, the way that these two teams get after it right here and the way they play, look at that. Terry's able to get the ball back over the net. You don't see too many opportunities right here for either team to go on these extensive runs unless, occasionally you might see one of these teams fall apart, but that doesn't happen very often. So, time and time and again, as I've mentioned, we expect this one to be a close one. So serving now for the Eagles, that's going to be number 2, Sienna Richards. Received there by Dudley, set up by Baker on to Hopkins. What a force she is here for Wapahani, but that list continues on here for the Raiders. That's something I talk about quite often. Wapahani just has so many options they can go to. Great group of young ladies that the Raiders have. Dudley shanks that one off. A nice hustle by Baker. And then Rivers gets it across here for the Raiders. Murray on the attack. Soft touch right there. Ends up being off the fingertips there of Baker, I believe. And will fall in just in front of the outstretched hands and arms there of Tatum Dudley. So a 4-point lead now dwindled down to just 1. Rivers receives that one. Baker on Hopkins. And again, simple but effective. That's all that matters. Nice one right there from Hopkins, dealing out the ace. 12-9. Right side attack by Rich. Dudley got the hand up, but again, defensively right there, Wapahani has got to find a way to slow that ball down a little bit up there on the net, as number 5, Sophie Overholt, will now sub in for the Eagles. But again, it's so important, because these back row players, as I mentioned before, you have such very little time to be able to react to a ball and be able to get in a good athletic position. Again, some missed timing, but it still works out in the end. It's all that matters. So Grove collects on the kill. We'll have Olivia Walters back in here, Kaylee Clements as well. And the Raiders on top here by 3. Received by Rich. Set on the left side here to Overholt. Hopkins gets there. Excellent job. And a good pass to work with there from Hopkins. Murray on the attack, and that will fall in. As the Raiders unable to slow it down. Parker back in for Wapahani. Delta will have number 1, Kate Manor, back to serve. Short serve right there. Barely gets that one to the net. So a serving error for Manor. Will put the Raiders back on top here by 3. Looking to build on things right here. Really put the pedal to the metal. As Nola Baker's back to serve. And a darn good one right there for the ace. Threading the needle right there. Finding that back left corner on that back line. And that was perfectly placed there by Nola Baker. I see her go ahead and do that one again. About the same area. Rich again there with pass over the top of the net. And a point there for Wapahani. Baker goes right back to it. On to Murray from the right side, and well-placed ball again. Finding the open hole in the defense. Great hustle there from Baker, just unable to get to it in time. So we will have number 10, Kyra Murray, back to serve. Parker, Baker, Dudley gets it over in a sliding effect. Good job slowing that one down there by Walters for Hopkins to handle it. Dudley on the attack. In there for the kill. And we will get a timeout on the floor taken by the Eagles, 17-12. First set. Wapahani leads it. We'll step aside and we'll be back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back here with our Sam Pierce Chevrolet game break. And 17-12 is your score here in set number 1. Appreciate you all for tuning in and spending your Saturday afternoon here with us on the WHS Network. And these girls putting on a show so far as Wilson lets that one fly out of bounds, 18-12. Look at that, another nice serve sent well deep into the back row there by Rivers. Parker on to Dudley, the old left-hander on the attack. And number 5, that was Overholt that was able to get it over. Soft touch right there. And Wapahani will not get it back across. So again, met right there at the net, right after that hit from Dudley. Again, quick reaction time. Didn't quite get enough as far as air underneath it and to be able to get, I guess, essentially the right angle on that pass. Instead, shanks it off there to the right side. And Hopkins bringing the hammer. So in comes Maddie Grove. We'll have Parker back there to serve. Unfortunately, the error And, really, that's one thing I think the Raiders, at least up to this point in the season anyway, have really done a very good job of. I think that, you're going to have errors sometimes. That's going to happen. It's a part of the game. Obviously, you want to minimize it as much as possible, but we have done a really good job of keeping the ball in play off the serve. And Lord knows, we've had our fair share of aces as well. But it's so important. You've got to make your opponent play defense and receive the serve. So many times, teams defensively, just having a little bit of an off day. And you've got to exploit that as much as possible as that ball will be hit out of bounds by Wilson. And right now, the Raiders definitely in the driver's seat. Good, obviously a great position to be in right here, 21-14. A little bit at a time. It's not like we've went on these nice, 8-9 point runs, but it's been these short spurt runs that we've been able to control and then minimize what Delta's been able to do offensively to now start to apply more and more distance. Good ball there by Dudley and Hopkins. Baker gets it over. Rich from the left side. Parker will dig it out. Hopkins on to Rivers from the back row, and that one will sail out of bounds. Got a good rally here on both sides. We'll have number 2, Sienna Richards, back to serve. Received there by Rivers, and then Baker tried to throw one in there. Dudley, Baker, trying to do it again. Parker, Baker now on the Grove. Yes! Maddie Grove getting it done. 22-15. We'll have Marin Hopkins back to serve. Received by Richards. Murray on the attack. At the net there by Baker and Grove. Parker, Baker, Rivers, delivers. And Delta, I think a little shocked right now. 23-15, set number 1. Stick around here, folks. We'll be back following this message from Taylor Architects, Inc. All right, again, welcome back here from the timeout. So again, 23-16. We'll have a substitution. Overholt back in the ball game. Bailey Rich back to serve for the Eagles. Received by Dudley. Baker on to Rivers. Rich is right there. Ball passed into the net, and they will not get it over. So set point for Wapahani. Walters back in the game. Kaylee Clements also returns to the floor, and Clements will be back to serve. Again here for set point. Shanked off there to the left, mishandled, and that's going to do it. Really quite the dominating first set victory here for Wapahani. 25-16, first set
Wapahani takes it here this afternoon. Stick around. Set number 2 coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, welcome back here, volleyball fans, again with our Sam Pierce Chevrolet game break here between sets. 25-16, Wapahani gets the job done in set number 1. Looking for that same kind of success here in set number 2. Again, and I mentioned it earlier, Wapahani, it wasn't necessarily anything that they did, as far as, putting long, lengthy runs together. We might get, 3, 4, maybe 5 points in a row. But it was mostly, maybe 3 or 4 at the most, a couple different times. But then, we weren't allowing Delta to then come right back and answer with 4, 5, 6 of their own. Wapahani was able to keep them off balance, and then especially right there towards the end of the set, really punch the gas, and that's the reason why we was able to win that one by 9 points there in the first set. Now, yet again, I'm sure that Delta will have an answer, but you then hope that Wapahani has a great response to that answer and is able to neutralize that here in not only the second set, but throughout the ball game. And Murray unable to keep that one in play, but will have a net violation here on the Raiders to tie this at 1.
Again, not sure if you guys heard this one earlier, heard this earlier or not, but again, our referees this afternoon, we've got Sean Sherfy. There's our up referee. Down referee is Bobby Bohr, and our line judges Mary Goth and Lynn Blevins. Appreciate all four of them and for everything they do. And again, it doesn't go unnoticed. Tough job they have. I wouldn't want it. I say that all the time. I'm much happier up here just calling a game. I definitely wouldn't want to be a part of it, especially in that capacity. But we sure do appreciate everything they do. So look at Callie Parker. An unexpected kill. Getting it done. Nicely done, Callie. Ties it at 2. Again, they're in the position that Callie's in. It's not necessarily expected for her to have kills. But she gets one right there, and a much-needed one to, at that point to even things up here at 2. That's what we expect from Callie all day, every day. Good passes. That one blocked. The block party has began here in set 2. I believe that was Tatum Dudley. Either that or Maddie Grove, one of the two. Or maybe a little bit of both. Wilson right there. Baker lays out for it. Dudley. Hopkins sends it there into the back row to Murray. And some missed timing, and that's going to be 4 hits here on the Eagles. So the Raiders back in front, 4-3. Good serve from Parker. On there to number 7, Terry. And Rivers. Nice hustle. We'll have number 3, Kinley Davis, back in the game for the Eagles, and should be back behind the serving line. Received by Parker. That ball again landed in the net. Baker tried to dig that one out of the net. It didn't work out this time around. Out of bounds we go. Tied at 5 after the serving error. Tatum Dudley to serve. Received there by Davis. Set on to Wilson. Dudley is there. Baker changed it up a little bit. Parker on the Hopkins. Straight down. Heck yes. 6-5. Another good ball there from Dudley. Dudley, Baker now to Grove. Set on to Rich, left side. Hopkins digs it out. Set right back to her. Yes! Hopkins full steam ahead. Great hustle there by Parker. Rivers gets it over, and that will deliver the goods for the 8th point here in set 2. 4-0 run put together here by Wapahani. And we will have a substitution for Delta, number 6. Macy Ramsey now in the ball game for her first action here this afternoon. Parker set on to Hopkins again. Rich was there. That was Manners setting it up there. That was to number 7, Paisley Terry. On the attack right down the right line. So Terry back to serve. Raiders on top here by a pair. Parker, Baker, Hopkins blocked by Mara Wilson. Hopkins from the middle. Dug out there by Ramsey. Dudley, Baker, Grove. Oh, look at that. Oh, and just out of bounds. So that will tie it at 8. Tell you what, though, that was really a smart decision there from Maddie. Not that she needed my seal of approval, but again, great recognition defensively of what they was doing, as that one will be deflected by Delta. The point there for Wapahani. But nonetheless here, 9-8 Raider lead. Hopkins will be back to serve. Baker, Parker, Rivers. Dug out by Ramsey. Terry on to Rich. Parker. All right, time to put it down. Dug out there from Kinley Davis. Wilson on the attack, but out of bounds. Dudley digs it out. Baker sets it up, delivers from Rivers right there on what was a really nice diagonal shot close to the net, tight to the line. And Grove unable to keep that one in play. You can see a little frustration there from Grove, but the main thing is here's Murray comes back in the ball game. Got to have such a short memory because, I mean, you got to kind of ride the waves here a little bit. When things are going good, it's always easy to be happy and upbeat. But in those bad times, when things aren't necessarily going the way you want it to, you got to stay about as level-headed as you possibly can and keep your head in the ball game. That goes for anybody. I mean, guys, girls, any sport. If you get yourself too far down, you got to take yourself right out of the ball game, mentally more than anything. As Murray will even it at 10. Ooh. Just out of bounds. Oh, no, they said that was touched. So the kill there for Maddie Grove, point there for Wapahani. I will say originally I thought on that set there from Baker that it potentially could have been a 2-hit, but then again, what do I know? I'm glad it worked in favor here of Wapahani. And that's going to tie it up at 11. Timeout taken by Wapahani, their first charge timeout here of set number 2. We'll step aside here for a quick timeout of our own. Tied at 11 here in second set action. All right, welcome back in here. Sam Pierce Chevrolet game break as
This one's tied at 11 here in the second set. Again, if you're just tuning in, obviously you see the score there on your screen. Wapahani took the opening set 25-16. And a much closer, tighter set here in set number 2. So it will be Bailey Rich back to serve following the timeout. Received there by Parker. On Hopkins. Again, love the recognition right there. Again, reading the defense perfectly. Everybody was so far back there in the back row looking for Hopkins just to unleash the beast. Instead, just kind of softened things up a little bit and just dropped it right smack dab in the middle of everyone. Tied at 12 this time around. Number 7, Paisley Terry back to serve for Delta. Short serve there. Received there by Walters. Set on the Rivers. Oh, nice hustle there from Dudley. And Wapahani ends up getting a point after all. Blocked there by Walters. Rivers, Baker, Hopkins. Yes. Received by Rich. They're off the serve from Rivers. Murray hits that one well long and out of bounds. And Wapa's got to look to keep the line moving right here. Received by Murray, set up. Terry on the attack, out of bounds. Manor, right side set up there to Murray. No touch there by the Raiders. So a 5-0 run. The timeout taken here by Delta. And we'll go ahead and stick right here with you during this timeout to thank some of our sponsors here this afternoon. I'd like to send out a big thank you here to Next Only Real Estate Realtor, hometown realtor, that is Courtney Felton. Great teams win with heart, hustle, communication, and trust. And those are some great values that Next Only Hometown Real Estate Realtor Courtney Felton brings to every real estate move. Whether you're buying or selling, she is there to use her local roots to meet your real estate needs every step of the way. Call Courtney Felton at 765-748-6334 for all of your real estate needs. Also a big thanks here to Henry Community Health Director of Sports Medicine, Tony Cox. At Henry Community Health Sports Medicine, enhancing performance, we take care of our Raiders. Tony Cox is your certified athletic trainer and is here to get our athletes back in a game and help get them better, stronger, and faster than ever before. For all of your rehab and recovery needs, contact Tony Cox with Henry Community Health Sports Medicine Performance Enhancement at 765-521-1131. So again, following the timeout there from Delta, Wapahani on top here by 5. Murray dug out there by Rivers. Parker will chase it down, and Baker will get it over. Overholt. The ball passed on top of the net, and Hopkins will make him pay with it, or pay for it. And served out of bounds this time around, but a nice run right there for Wapahani. 6 consecutive put up on the board.
That's by far the most points consecutively in the ball game by either side. Dudley will get it across. Free ball for the Eagles. Manor on to Terry in there. Received there by Rivers. On here to Hopkins, dug by Rich. Manor on to Wilson. Rivers. Baker, right side attack from Dudley, yes. That was off of Murray and out of bounds, so Dudley with the kill. Put the Raiders back on top by 5. As number 6, Macy Ramsey, will return to the floor for Delta. Great job by Parker and Hopkins right there. Then Rivers to get it over. Wilson hits that one off the top of the net. It's going to be 4 hits. Yeah, and an ace. Yes. 21-14. Nicely done there by Kelly Parker. Looking for another one just like that. Received there by Rich. Terry on the attack. Tell you what, she's really been the hottest hand here for Delta so far today. So number 3, Kinley Davis back in the ball game and serving for the Eagles. A 6-point Raider lead here in set number 2. And a miscommunication there on behalf of Delta. And that will cost them a point there. And another timeout from the Eagles, 22-15. Wapahani just 3 points away from taking a 2-0 lead. Stick around here with us. We'll be back right after these messages. All right, folks, welcome back again here with our Sam Pierce Chevrolet game break. 22-15. Wapahani leads it here in set number 2 here of the afternoon. Again, it's going to be Tatum Dudley back to serve here for the Raiders. Rich tips it over. There's Hopkins. Dudley sets it up. Hopkins on the attack. That was dug by Davis. On to Terry one more time, and we're going to have a net violation on Wapahani. I think that's about our at least 3rd or 4th at least called on us today as far as net violation goes in this ball game. Bacon will track it down. Love the hustle. That's what I'm talking about. Rich again really had to reach back for that one. And unfortunately for that young lady, sends that one out of bounds. So now 23-16. Marin Hopkins back to serve here for your Raiders. That was a nice ball right there from Terry just a moment ago. Rivers on the attack, and that will get it done.
So set point has arrived, 24-16. And Davis will get it back over. Dudley, Baker, Grove. Terry's right there to dig it out. Nice set up there to Rich. And hit into the net, and that will do it here for set 2. Again, after this one being tied at 11, Wapahani went on a 14-5 run to end this second set to take a 2-0 lead over the Delta Eagles. Stick around here with us. Set number 3 coming up here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
Hi, this is Austin Rich with Next Home Elite Real Estate. Next Home is a real estate company that prioritizes community involvement, and we have a humans over houses philosophy. We specialize in both property listings and buyer representation, ensuring top-notch service with top producing agents. Our mission is, and has always been, to enrich people's lives by helping them find their next home. Next Home Elite Real Estate consistently maintains open communication, and we build trust through honesty and integrity. Whether you're listing $1 million property in a gated community, or you are a first-time home buyer just starting the process, at Next Home Elite Real Estate, our agents are committed to providing exceptional service and expertise. We actively participate and invest in local events, local sponsorships, charities, and initiatives to strengthen community bonds. Our agents love being a corporate sponsor to Ball State University, and when you choose Next Home Elite Real Estate, you never know who you're going to run into.
After working with Next Home Elite Real Estate, I knew that I would be choosing them for future transactions simply because they communicated throughout the entire process, they were friendly, and they were tenacious marketers working for me so I can achieve my goals.
Voted as the best real estate company in Muncie's quest for the best, I want you to know we are more than a real estate company. We're part of your community. We are creating lasting relationships and emphasizing the human element in every transaction.
A lot of times, a new home is a joyous event, a promotion, a celebration of marriage, relocation, but this wasn't that type of event. We needed someone in a company who cared about us, who showed compassion and empathy. Our realtor was with us the entire time. He sat and grieved with my sisters and I. He realized that this wasn't about money, but about taking care of our family home.
When you're ready to buy or sell a home, contact Next Home Elite Real Estate at 765-729-5181 or visit our website at mynexthomeelite.com.
All right, welcome back in here, folks. Second set. What a nice victory there for Wapahani. After this one being tied at 11, and then Wapahani, like I mentioned, put the foot on the gas right there. Finished that second set 14 on a 14-5 run, and first two sets have went in favor here of Wapahani. But yet again, you cannot count out this Delta team. I think that Wapahani has still got to really stay focused right here. I mean, you still have a job to do. And you can't let Delta hang around. And we've seen this before where, we start playing maybe a little complacent and, we start falling out of sync, and bad things can happen. So Raiders have got to continue to stay locked in right here, stay focused, and finish the job at hand. Because, again, you got to know Delta will not go away and go silently here in this one. They're going to continue to stay after it, and because, right now, what do you got to lose? You're down 2-0. The only way to go is go up from here, essentially. So, they're going to stay locked in, and so, Wapahani needs to do the exact same thing right here.
Hopkins on the attack. That'll be dug out there by Richards. Set to the left side to Terry. Hopkins with the dig, and that's going to be a souvenir for the fans. So Manor again serving. Walters is there. Dudley will get it over. Back to Terry. And out of bounds. No touch by Wapahani. So the Raiders will get their first point here in set 3. I'll tell you what, something I do want to mention. How about Nola Baker here today? I mean, coming in here, I'm not sure. I got to be honest with you. I'm not sure if she set in middle school. She might have. I don't know a whole lot about 6th, 7th, 8th grade levels per se, very much because we're so tuned in to high school sports so much and so busy with this. So I don't have a lot of time to get over and watch middle school games. But Bakers came in here really today and has really done a nice job. A few hiccups here or there, set-wise, but, that was even in the first set. But she's looked pretty good out there, and I think that's extremely important because, Caroline does such a phenomenal job. And to know that, you can have someone out there that still trusts, Addie Barnes, she's the same way. When she comes in the game, these girls trust her, and she gets the job done, no matter who it is. But, in this certain instance, Baker, I think, has really done a nice job filling in. And, and it's really been a pretty easy, smooth transition right here from Caroline to Nola. And that ball served out of bounds. So much needed point right here. Wapahani, you don't want to get down early right here and start digging yourself a hole that you can't get yourself out of. So it is where it is right now. Now, let's start to see some rattling off some points. And right there's an ace there from Cami Rivers. Great hustle from Cami. But it still works out in favor of the Eagles this time around. Number 3, Kinley Davis will check back in and drop back to serve. And that one served out of bounds. So a couple of crucial mistakes right here from Delta. We'll have Maddie Grove back in for Wapahani. We'll have Callie Parker back to serve. Good ball right there. Received there by Ramsey. Rich will get it over. Rivers digs it. Baker sets it. Dudley from the middle. Bat at the net there by Wilson. Rivers! Dropping the hammer. She nailed that bad boy to the floor. Heck yes! Cami just comes flying through the air out of nowhere. Left side to Rich. And that was a close one. I think that, in all honesty, if she would have called it out, I would have agreed. Obviously, she called it in, and I think it was very close that it very well could have been in, too. That's why, in all honesty, I would not want their job. I said that earlier. Line judge, a referee, no thank you. I'm more than happy just sitting right here, calling a game, and enjoying myself this way, because being a referee and being a line judge, all that, no thank you. And now a net violation here on Wapahani. So in comes Murray for the Eagles. We'll have Sienna Richards to serve for Delta. Rivers delivers A nice pass on that one. There's Hopkins. Baker right back to Hopkins. Dug out by Terry. And then that ball ricocheted quickly off the light. And then straight back down. And then the pass sent over the net and out of bounds and tied at 7. Manor on the attack. Hopkins digs it out. Baker sets it up. There's Dudley as Davis will dig that one out there for the Eagles. Baker gets the left arm up there on the Rivers. And right down the line off the hand of Paisley Terry. So the kill for Cammie. Marin Hopkins again serving. Murray from the right side. Good job slowing that one down there by Grove. And speaking of which, there's Maddie killing it again. Terry with the setup right over the net. Hopkins will chase it down. Baker leaves it short and gets it over. Murray on the attack. Parker, Baker, Rivers. Oh, just out of bounds. That was a heck of a good idea. Just unfortunately couldn't execute it this time around. But again, great court awareness, reading the defense. I mean, it was wide open right over here alongside and darn near snuck that one in. Grove just absolutely pummels that ball. Mercy. So Clements and Walters back in. Parker and Grove will have a seat. And that will be a kill for number 5, Sophie Overholt. 10-9. And we will have number 1, Kate Manor, back to serve for Delta. Hopkins was just a touch short right there. Dudley digs it. Baker set up to Walters. Ooh, I don't know about that one. That was, I don't know. Yet again, another one of those times where I would not want to be a referee. I mean, it was so close. I mean, we're going straight across, and I can't even tell if the ball hit the net or a hand. So I am not exactly a good judge of what happens, and I don't know what happened right there. The Raiders got caught snoozing on that play. Hopkins, Baker, Walters. Yes, gonna get a lift. Shank backwards by Murray. Richards tracks it down. Murray will get it over. Hopkins now on the Baker. Here comes Dudley. Yes. The kill for Tatum. Ties it up at 12. Again, the winner of this one advances to tonight's 2025 Delaware County Volleyball Tournament Championship game. They will take on the Yorktown Tigers at 7 o'clock. As this one will be in there for Wapahani. Again, if, the game's not over with yet, but if Wapahani does play tonight in that championship game, again, it will not be broadcasted tonight. Because, again, I'm hitting the road and heading out of town. So, again, I will not be here to broadcast the ball game. But Redbeard, though, will still be here. He'll be, again, if we get to that point, we still got a good ways to go right here. So we're not counting our chickens before it hatches. But, if that does, potentially happen here for Wapahani, Redbeard will be here. He'll be posting updates on our Twitter page or X page, whatever you want to consider it as. And so make sure to follow us on X at WHS Network for any updates tonight if we get there. Yes, nice hustle there from Bailey Rich. And again, not much going on thereafter for the Eagles. Baker continuing to do her thing here for the Raiders. Good serve there, nearly mishandled by Murray. Parker gets to it. Hopkins will track it down. Baker gets it over. Oh, here we go. Set up to Dudley. Oh, Hopkins lays out for it. Now on to Baker. Richards there. Nice hustle by Rich. And then Tammy Rivers bringing the hammer. Oh, heck yes. 16-12 Wapahani. Yes. Third set here from Raider Gymnasium. We'll step aside, folks. We'll be back following this message. All right, folks, welcome back here. 16-12 Wapahani here in set 3. Baker back to serve again following that timeout there from Delta. Set on to Terry. Hopkins is there to dig it out. Baker to set it up to Rivers. Dug out by Rich. Good ball to work with. Terry on the attack again. That was off the hand of Baker as that one raced right by Hopkins. So the kill for Terry. In comes Wilson for Delta. And it'll be Murray back to serve. Oh. Just mishandled that time there by Parker. You don't see that happen very often. Hopkins, Parker, Baker, out of bounds. Got to stay focused right here if you're Wapahani. Oh boy. That was about 3 ugly points there for Wapahani. Well, the points were for Delta, but obviously ugly job there by Wapahani. But the Raiders get back on track right here. Back in front by 1. Number 6, Macy Ramsey returning to the floor for the Eagles. We'll have Cammie Rivers back to serve. Cammie's had a very hot hand here for the Raiders. And looking to keep that going, and she will do so. As some of the passing miscues and just receiving a serve has been a little bit of a problem here at times for the Eagles. That was close, and that's an ace. Another for Cammie. So the Raiders keep on dealing them aces. And then we followed up with an air. It happens. I don't know if that might have been maybe our second, third serving error of the game, maybe. So we'll have Davis back to serve. Again, I think I talked about it earlier. This team, you have to be a good serving team. You've got, obviously you have to force your opponents to play defense. You can't afford to go out here and give points away. And we've done a really good job, again, majority of the year here, of just getting the ball over the net, getting the ball in play. Yes, you're going to have hiccups from time to time, but you want those to be few and far between. So Dudley, the left-hander, gets the kill, and that's going to force Delta to take another timeout. 21-17. Stick around, folks. We'll be back. All righty, folks, welcome back. Again, 21-17. Wapahani in command here in set number 3, but obviously not over with. You still have 4 more points to get right here. And the Raiders have got to continue to stay locked in. Yes, Hopkins, that looked to have been heading out of bounds, but Davis, again, touched that one. So Hopkins credited there with a kill. Set on the Rich. Dug out by Rivers. Hopkins will get it over. Rich is there. On the Terry, right side attack. Rivers from the back row there with a dig. Set on the Tatum. Quick reaction, though, gets the ball right back over the net. And that should be a lift. Indeed, it will be. Callie Parker there to serve. Rivers on the Grove. Manor is right there. Rich will get it back over. Free ball for the Raiders. Dudley. Oh, what a beautiful soft touch that was there from Dudley. Just guiding that one right over the top of the net and smack dab into play. So here we go. Match point. Dudley, Parker on to Hopkins. Yes! And the Raiders, in a dominating fashion, sweep the Delta Eagles 25-16, 25-16, 25-17. Oh, heck yes! The Raiders now 21-5, baby. Stick around here, folks. We'll have our Raiders Live postgame show coming up. You're on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.
Jackson digs it out. Hunzinger with a setup to Rivers. Rivers delivers. Pass to the basket. Gets the friendly roll to go right there. Ava Cook now with 4 points to go here. Drives, finds Camden Bell. Right wing three is up. And good. Yes. Camden Bell making it rain, baby. Carroll for battling in this bat so far. The 1-2 pitch. Gets her swinging for strike three. A job well done by Zoe Koger getting the strikeout for out. 3-1. And that's going to be a deep fly ball in the left center field. And gone! Quentin James with a big fly of his own, a 2-run shot. All right, welcome back here, folks, again to our Raiders Live postgame show presented by Sam Pierce Chevrolet, a proud sponsor of us here on the WHS Network. A dominating victory here this afternoon for your Wapahani Raiders over the Delta Eagles. Again, 25-16, 25-16, 25-17 to not only improve to 21-5 on the season, but advance to tonight's 2025 Delaware County Volleyball Tournament Championship game. Again, they will be taking on the Yorktown Tigers at 7 p.m. Again, just a reminder, and I hate to say it in a lot of ways, but we will not be broadcasting that game tonight. Again, I'm heading out of town. We're heading to Florida, and I've got to fly out tonight. Actually at 7 p.m. So right as the championship game starts, I'll be flying through the air, heading down to the Sunshine States. But Redbeard's going to stay behind here and keep you all updated. So please make sure to follow us on our social media on X. That is at WHS Network. Usually I'll keep games up, stuff updated on X and Facebook. Redbeard will be the man doing X tonight. Again, I will not be doing any updates on our Facebook page because, I won't get them when I'm 40,000 feet in the air. Yeah, we will not be having a broadcast here tonight. So I do apologize, but there's not much I can do about it. It is what it is. Again, we'll be back at it here, in about the next week and a half or so. We'll have sectionals coming up. I would assume that will probably be the next time you will see us here on the broadcast because Wapahani will finish up the regular season with 2 games on the road, I believe, at Winchester and Cowan, if I remember correctly. So, again, that will be coming up next week. And then, like I said, we'll start sectionals, and that's going to be at Madison Grant. So really looking forward to that here within the next, like I said, week and a half or so. Great win here today. Great win here today for Wapahani. And, Delta, that's a solid team over there. And, obviously, I talked about it earlier, they're in a pregame and how, Delta won that first game there in a 5-set thriller. That's no indication on how today's game is going to be. And, boy, oh, boy, was that right. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see Wapahani perform really well and really go on to, like I said, a pretty dominating win. But no doubt I expected it to be definitely a closer one, but I'm glad it wasn't for Wapahani's sake. But Delta, darn good team over there. We wish them all the very best throughout the rest of the regular season and postseason play there as well. So great day here for Wapahani, again with a sweep here of Delta to improve to 21-5 and advance to the championship game of the county tournament tonight at 7 p.m. as they take on the Yorktown Tigers. So, folks, again, we want to thank you all for tuning in. It means a great deal to us for your support, not only of us, but more importantly, these awesome young ladies out here on the floor for both these teams today, for Delta and Wapahani. Like I said, they deserve all the credit in the world. This is the reason why we do what we do. It's for them and for all of you out there always tuning in and enjoying our broadcast. And so we hope you guys have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your weekend. And like I said, we'll see you back here in about a week and a half or two. We'll have our state tournament preview show, our sectional preview show, I'm sure coming up there as well here within the next week or so. But, folks, until next time, again, I'm Brandon Morvillius
alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Again, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.